454 days after the contract was initiated, the money starts flowing in, $483,000, give or take.
Okay.
There's something very dirty there. There's something very, very corrupt there.
So you're saying it looks fishy?
It is fishy. Doesn't look fishy. It is fishy.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these news stories every day, particularly about your girl, Letitia James. As you can see, she's on the screen looking stately and professional, while behind the scenes there are allegations that she's doing all kinds of dirty deeds, including some very nasty quid pro quo with the governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul. So we talked about this a couple of days ago, y'all, but this might have been a little bit confusing. But in the meantime, there's an interview with Sam Antar. He's the person who's been bringing all of this to light, and he does an excellent job of explaining it. So I am going to bring you some clips from this interview under fair use, using this under fair use, of course, so that you can totally understand exactly how this, we might call it a scam, a fraud. I'm not using those words, but some people might, so you can understand how it works. Let's take a look. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
The Office of New York Attorney General Letitia James has paid $483,000 in contracts to a law firm called Davis Polk starting in April of last year. Coincidentally, though, those payments began just 4 months after William Hochul was hired by the company. William Hochul, let me see what the last name is the husband of Kathy Hochul.
So now you're going to see that the host, he's going to introduce Antar, and Antar is going to talk about this, how it looks like at first, before Hochul's husband was working for this law firm, James's office, they didn't have any business for this firm. They had this open $325,000 contract, never touched it, didn't have any work for this firm. But as soon as Hochul's husband starts working for the firm, oh, now we got to start kicking the firm some business. Even after, this is after the contract, they didn't even, not only did they not use it, but it had expired. Let's take a look.
So fast forward to April of this year, Letitia James is under investigation from the DOJ for falsifying documents, saying she owed less property than she actually does as a way to secure lower interest rates. At the same time, James allegedly has been saying that she legally lives at a property in Virginia as a way to secure a better mortgage. Once this investigation was launched, corrupt Kathy Hochul knew it was time to return the favor for that $483,000 sent to her husband's employer. So last month, she passed a new budget, and it includes $10 million in legal funds for defense funds for Letitia James, paid for by New York taxpayers. For more on this, the man who's uncovered it all, forensic accountant Sam Antar. Sam, good to see you.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, so watch as Antar breaks it down, y'all.
Well, let's start in February 2022.
Okay, back it up one more. Yeah.
Anyway, there's a contract that's made between the Attorney General's office and Davis Polk.
Okay.
It's approximately $325,000.
Great.
And in the meantime, Davis Polk is getting all kinds of money, $7 million from various government agencies, but this contract is dormant.
So this is a key point, y'all. The contract was dormant. They had this open contract to work with this law firm, meaning that the Attorney General's office under Letitia James, they had $325,000 worth of legal fees that they could have billed to this law firm before Hochul's husband started working there, and they didn't bill anything.
Then Hochul's husband, William Hochul, joins the firm on January 2nd, 2024.
Okay.
Right? The contract expires the end of the month of January, about 29 days later, 30 days later. The contract is then recorded on March 17th, which is approximately 400 plus days after the contract was entered into. In other words, it was recorded and approved. It's kind of like it didn't exist until it existed.
Until it comes in.
Right. Now the contract gets extended because Hochul is there, William Hochul is
No
there.
Hochul comes in.
Right. And all of a sudden, money starts flowing from the Attorney General's account. 454 days after the contract was initiated, the money starts flowing in $483,000, give or take.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Then we got to fast forward. Okay.
Okay, so Hochul's husband starts working at the firm. All of a sudden, James's office says, "Oh, you know that contract that we hadn't used for the entire time with this law firm? Now, they don't say this, but now that Hochul's there, we should probably start kicking them some business." Y'all, what you need to understand is this. A lot of times, and I don't know this to be a fact in his situation, but a lot of times when you start to work at a law firm, you need to bring in business, right? You're not just a lawyer there like, hey, whatever comes across your desk, kick it to me. That does work, but when you're getting paid $1 million a year, these firms expect you to bring in business. So what would happen? You get hired. They're giving you $1 million a year, right? They expect you to bring in more than that in business, most likely, right? So what you start working, you're like, man, where am I going to get? Okay. Oh, Letitia James and them, they could kick me $400,000 right off the top. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this is what happened, but this is the picture that Antar is painting, and I'm putting a little bit more meat on the bones with what I know about how the legal field works. Let's continue.
The money's there. It's flowing to William Hochul's law firm, Davis Polk. Then Tish James starts getting into trouble. You know, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, the
Things you helped expose.
things that helped.
Yes. Okay. It's got a lot of traffic.
Right. So around May, there was an announcement that the FBI was investigating. This is after it was already referred to the DOJ, and there's also an announcement of a grand jury proceeding. On that same day, Tish James gets a $10 million allowance from the state of New York for a criminal defense. Now, listen, I was a criminal. I'm not let's put it this way. The pieces, when you put them together, there's something very dirty there. There's something very, very corrupt there.
So you're saying it looks fishy?
It is fishy. It doesn't look fishy.
kidding,
It is
yes.
fishy.
All right, y'all. So now it's time for you to weigh in. Hopefully it's more clear to you now exactly what Antar is saying and the picture that he is painting. Does that sound fishy to you, or might this just be, hey, look, they had this contract, they didn't need it. When Hochul's husband started to work for this firm, all of a sudden something maybe coincidentally came up and they just started to kick this firm money. You know, I'm saying it absolutely could be a coincidence, right? But what seems more likely to you? I'm going to put up a community post about this so that you can vote on it, but also would like for you to leave a comment down below. Let me know how all this looks to you. But before you do, y'all, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Y'all, again, I feel so honored that so many of our listeners have been going to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, have been getting the information about protecting your retirement with gold. And we've even had people who have decided to invest, just as I have decided to invest in gold, y'all. It's only been around for 5,000 years or more with humankind. What more do you want, people? Go to Paralegold.com or call 844-651-8334. Talk to our people at Augusta Precious Metals and they'll hook you up. Want to thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. And you know what? We'll see you back in the next one.